Hey everyone, What If Fan here, bringing you another exciting part of What If Martial Artist Reborn is Kenichi Shirahama. You can find the fanfic title and the original author's name on my Patreon page. Make sure to check it out and show them some love. If you enjoy the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Also check out my Patreon channel for early releases of all the series, where you can find all the series released one day ahead of YouTube. Alright, let's jump into it. Chapter 21, Beating a Side Character. Kenichi and Mo reached Ryo Zanpaku after that small incident, and Kenichi told Sakaki that he used his skills that he taught him in the morning. Then Sakaki's reaction. "Ha, I know you will be able to learn it easily, that's how my disciple should be," Sakaki said while smiling. "Of course sensei," said Kenichi. "Ah, now that I think of it, Apachai. He's been sulking because you didn't come in time for his lesson," said Sakaki while pointing towards Apachai. "I am sorry, Apachai-san," said Kenichi while trying to cheer up Apachai. "Forget it, Apachai's just gonna play with crayons," said Apachai while drawing in a book with crayons along Shigeru. "But it wasn't my fault, Apachai-san. Ma-sensei sended me for the exercise where I met those punks," said Kenichi while pointing at Ma-sensei, who was reading girls' magazine at the side. Apachai stood up and said so it was him who took Apachai's teaching time with an angry face. Shigeru also stood up by Apachai's side to help him in catching Kensei-ma, who has already started running from there. Ragnarok base, Kizara's hideout. Whoosh bang came noise when a koga was kicked on his face and flied backwards, hitting a locker. "Didn't I tell you to bring back Kenichi?" said Kizara lying down on her seat. "Wait, let me explain, Kizara," said Koga while holding his bleeding mouth. "When I met him coincidentally, I was going to bring him. But then I saw his girlfriend and I got jealous and wanted to take him down, but he got pissed at me since I looked at his girlfriend with wrong intentions and beat all of us," said Koga, trying to explain himself. "So you are saying that he beat all of you this badly cause you lusted after his girlfriend?" asked Kizara. "Yes, he even broke my finger with which I pointed at his girl," said Koga while showing his finger. "Who then? He is the type who will protect his girl and beat those who looked at her in a wrong way no matter how strong they are." "Interesting," said Kizara while biting her thumbnail. "Anyways, your punishment too for disobeying orders and sending your entire subordinate to the hospital will be heavy. You three don't have to come to Ragnarok for a while," said Shiratori, Kizara's principal lieutenant. "Okay," said Yukita, shutting Koga's mouth with his hand and following behind Teada, who has already reached the door. "Shirahama Kenichi, he must be manlier than I thought," said Kizara lightly, that was only heard by Shiratori. Kenichi, why did you join the gardening club? I am its only member," said the president of the gardening club, Izumi Yuka, freshman. "Ah. Well, I really like plants, as when I see them they give me a soothing feeling when I look at them. I do have dreamed of having a big house of my own where I can have my own garden and look at them along with my family," said Kenichi. "Kenichi, there were rumors about you, so I thought you would be a muscular type of guy since you beat down Tsubaka-senpai," said Izumi. "Ah, that rumor? It was not the whole truth, which was spread by Devil wearing a mask of an alien," replied Kenichi while making a pissed-off face. "Right? You couldn't possibly be the school's strongest delinquent," said Izumi. "Strongest I can be, but a delinquent." Never thought Kenichi, but didn't reply as he didn't wanted to scare her. "Yo Kenichi, I was looking for you. Man, you really joined the gardening club. I am for the first time shocked by your actions in a long time," said Naijima. Kenichi went towards Naijima and pulled him by the collar and shouted, "You stop spreading those rumors, will ya? They are not rumors, man, and I am making such a good image of you, so why are you pissed?" replied Naijima. "Anyhow, who is this brat?" said Naijima while looking at Izumi. "Wow, he really looks like a alien," said Izumi in flabbergasted voice while pointing at Naijima. Why are you here?" said Kenichi while looking at Naijima. "Well, I have information for you on those three guys," said Naijima. "Don't I really need some time alone? Tell me about them later," said Kenichi while stopping Naijima to speak anymore. "Ah, did your snowman king grow a lot?" said Izumi while looking at Kenichi, who was watering a plant. "Nope, not for now, but I know it will grow," said Kenichi while looking at the small plant. "You have real faith in it?" said Izumi while looking at the plant. "Yes, as I know that it will grow until we don't lose hope," said Kenichi while smiling. Looking at his smile, Izumi went in a daze but came back after a minute or two. I also have some feelings towards it, since I am a klutz. No matter what I do, I am below average, said Izumi. No, I know you can do anything if you put your mind on it. I have that much trust in you, said Kenichi while smiling as he looked at Izumi, making her blush. Thank you, Kenichi, said Izumi while blushing. After school. Are you coming, Kenichi? Asked Myo. Wait for me at the gate, I will come after I water few plants, replied Kenichi to Myo. Okay, said Myo. Kenichi reached the gardening club but he saw that most of the flower pots were smashed on the ground. What the hell, said Kenichi looking pissed. Kenichi, said Izumi while she was held by a boy wearing karategi uniform. So you are Kenichi, said the boy. You are Owamanji, a freshman as well as a member of karate club, said Kenichi. Oh, you know me, that means I am quite famous, said Daimonji. Famous? You were just a side character who was the first one to get beaten by Kenichi in the manga, that's why I remember you, idiot, thought Kenichi in his mind. What do you want? Asked Kenichi looking at Daimonji and his two friends. You beat Captain Tsubaka and everyone was calling you the strongest, hence I wanted to teach you a lesson to not fly high in the sky, said Daimonji. Then wanna tell me why would you killed all these plants? Asked Kenichi as his face started to twist from anger. While I was waiting for you it got so boring so I lightly smashed, said Daimonji while his friend smashed another flower pot. But don't worry, I had your treasured seedling with me right here, said Daimonji while showing Kenichi his Snowman King plant. He was ready to throw it, but Kenichi reached to him really fast before anyone could react and hold his hand so tightly that he shouted at let the plant in Izumi. Kenichi then caught the plant and pulled Izumi towards him. I am sorry for the trouble, President, but could you hold it for a sec, said Kenichi while giving his plant to Izumi. He then turned towards Daimonji and said, I really didn't want to beat a side character like you, but since you are such an M I will fulfill your wish. What did you say, punk? Shouted Daimonji while ran towards him and punched him. Kenichi sidestepped and dodged the punch and lifted his leg and kicked with his left leg on his chest, making him fly backwards 3 to 5 meters. Kenichi used more strength than necessary as he wanted this side character to learn a lesson, as Kenichi's kick must have, if not broken, at least would have left crack on his ribs. When his two friends were going to run, he looked at them and shouted, don't forget to take this garbage out of here. To which they complied and took Daimonji with them. Chapter 22, Little Brother. Let's clean up, we have to regrow all the live ones, said Kenichi to Izumi. Alright, said Izumi. After cleaning and replanting the plants, Kenichi and Izumi parted their ways and Kenichi went to meet Myo, who was waiting for him at the gate. Kenichi, you shouldn't make your girl wait for so long, you know, said Naijima, who was standing by Mo's side waiting for him. It's your fault, damn it. Someone came to the club to create problems for and smashed the flower pots. After dealing with him I have to replant them, said Kenichi while looking at Naijima with eyes that wanted to kick his ass. Hey, I am here with the info on the 3-man team, let's talk about them, said Naijima trying to change the subject. Fine, let's talk on the way, said Kenichi while they started walking from the school. Taichi Koga, also known as Koga the Kicker, is the youngest known member of Kazara's team. He is like Kazara, also a taekwondo user but not at her level, and his dream is to build a harem, said Naijima while telling them about Koga. I had already fought with him and he is nothing special, tell me about the other two, replied Kenichi. Fine then. Yukita, known as the Thrower, was originally a member of the judo club, but because he was a violent type of person the judo club removed him from the club. Later he became a member of Ragnarok, said Naijima telling them about Yukita. A judo player? Well, I don't think it will be hard. What about the last one? Asked Kenichi, though he knew him well he has to behave as if he didn't. The last one, Teada, known as the Puncher, is a former boxing star, but why he left boxing and joined up with those bad people I still don't know. The thing that you have to be careful about is his left straight, said Naijima. Thanks for the information, Naijima-kun, said Myo as she knew Kenichi wouldn't thank him. No problem, but since I have done my part, expect you to deal with them fast so that I can spread the news about it, said Naijima while running towards his house direction. Ryo Zanpuku Dojo. Today was Shigeru's turn to teach Kenichi Kosaka-style, armed ninjutsu. Shigeru throwed a sword towards Kenichi and said, we will start with the sword. Kenichi held the sword and said, do you want to kill your husband before marriage? Shigeru didn't say anything and attacked Kenichi, swinging and slashing her sword towards him while Kenichi was barely able to dodge it by using his sword to deflect her attacks. Shigeru then used Kusaka / her usual finishing attack. A powerful downward slash that can literally peel the thin side of a leaf into two halves. When used against opponents, she usually doesn't aim to kill, so it usually cuts their clothes. Even then, the force of the attack is usually enough to stun them. Kenichi, who has seen this many times in the manga, used all his knowledge and strength to block it but wasn't able to block it completely, hence his clothes had been slightly cut. "Do you want to see my body, Shigeru? I can strip myself for you, you don't have to cut my clothes," Kenichi said while trying to distract Shigeru. Shigeru, who heard it, blushed a little, but her attacks became more hard to predict as she was trying to hide her embarrassment. Kenichi was slowly getting the hang of it, and he could also perform Kusaka / at the beginner level. Shigeru, who was trying to end the fight, saw that Kenichi was going to use Kusaka / on her, hence she hastily stepped backwards to avoid it and used Shinto Gorenzen at Kenichi to end the fight. Shinto Gorenzen, an extremely powerful sword technique whereas the user seemingly fuses with their sword and changes their appearance to that of a white wraith-like silhouette. While in this mode, the user can unleash devastatingly powerful sword strikes. This technique is the epitome of Shigeru's philosophy that one must fight with their weapons as one. This technique cannot be learned through pure skill, but the user must have an intimate bond with their sword and there must be trust between the sword and user. As Ki Kajiro puts it, you and the sword must love each other. The greater the bond, the greater the ease this technique can be performed and the greater the overall potency of the attack. As a result, this technique is known as the highest level of sword mastery. It has been shown that this technique can be performed as long as the user has a blade of some kind in their possession, as the Hachio executioner blade members who own a bladed weapon are all able to use this technique. This technique of Shigeru cut all the clothes of Kenichi, leaving him naked. Though he was still wearing his restraints, but other than that there was nothing on his body, not even his underwear. Kenichi and Shigeru were alone while practicing, but the moment Shigeru cut all Kenichi's clothes, Mio entered the room and seeing Kenichi naked she blushed and hid her face while shouting, "What are you doing, Kenichi-kun?" "It's not my fault, Mio. Shigeru wanted to see my little brother, hence she did this," said Kenichi while showing his little brother to the two girls proudly. Mio, who was hiding her face, looked at his 6-inch sleeping little brother from the gap between her fingers. Shigeru, who did this, was also blushing after seeing Kenichi's little brother. "So how is it, big, right?" said Kenichi while smiling cheekily. Both the girls blushed beet red and ran away from there, leaving the naked Kenichi there. "Looks like it's still too early for them to see it," said Kenichi while scratching the back of his head. Chapter 23, Beating and Treating Teada. After that incident, Shigeru became a little more sensitive around Kenichi than before, and the whole day she didn't even look straight at him and ran away whenever he came in front of her. Next day. Today was the day Kenichi had decided that he was going to beat Teada and treat his arms as well. "Kenichi-kun, are you going to fight against Yukita and Teada-san?" asked Mio, who was walking with him. "Yes, I don't want them to come to us every day, so I will deal with them today," replied Kenichi. "Fine, but don't hurt them much." "I almost forgot, Koetsuji-san said that if you injured them much then bring them to his clinic," said Mio. "Okay, I will do that," said Kenichi while smiling. They reached the school and started attending their class. As the half of the classes ended, Kenichi and Mio went to their usual spot, the bench under the tree, for their lunch. After the lunch was ended, Kenichi went to the washroom and Mio started going towards the class first. Teada and Yukita came to their class and seeing Kenichi not there, they asked the one seated close to him, Shimayama and Tanaka. "Hey, where is Kenichi?" asked Yukita. "We don't know, he was here just a minute ago," said Shimayama. "Yes. He must have gone out with Mio, she is the only one he goes out with," said Tanaka while his face was sweating profusely due to fear of getting beaten by Yukita. It's fine, we will come later, let's go," Yukita said to Teada. Teada and Yukita went out of the class and were going towards the direction of the washroom. On the other side, Kenichi just came out of the washroom and was going towards his class. Kenichi wasn't looking forward as he was wiping his hands with handkerchief, while Teada, who was walking forward while looking back and talking to Yukita, also didn't look at Kenichi, who was moving towards him. As they both were going to clash with each other, Kenichi did a simple turn and passed by their side without looking at them, whereas Teada was surprised to see such smooth moves of Kenichi, hence he looked at him, and as he saw him he was able to recognize him as Kenichi. "Hey! Wait, are you Kenichi Shirahama?" asked Teada while looking at Kenichi. Kenichi looked at the two and while smiling he said, "Yes, it's me, and you two must be Teada and Yukita, right?" "Yes, we are and have been looking for you but haven't been able to find you until now," said Teada. "Oh, then that means you weren't giving your 100% in finding me, otherwise you would have found me early on," Kenichi said, smiling. "You! What did you say?" said Yukita, shouting angrily. "Mama Yukita, easy, we have something to discuss with you, Kenichi, so would you follow us to the rooftop?" asked Teada after calming down Yukita. "Sure, why not, I also have to talk something with you," said Kenichi. Teada and Yukita were surprised as they thought he will back off and they will have to force him to come with them. "Are you serious? You don't think we will just talk casually, do you?" asked Teada. "Will you just move?" said Kenichi while he started going towards the rooftop. Teada and Yukita were shocked, but nonetheless it was in their own benefit, hence they followed him to the rooftop. As they reached the rooftop, Yukita finally snapped and couldn't control himself as he was quite angry at Kenichi since they were punished cause of him. "Kenichi, although the order was to drag you back, but since you have created such a headache for us like that, I won't be satisfied if we gave you the invitation for free, don't you think so?" said Yukita and went to hold his collar to throw him down. But when he tried to pull Kenichi he couldn't, and not just that, he wasn't even able to force him to move from his place. "Why are you so heavy?" asked Yukita in disbelief, as he never thought there would be such a day that he won't be able to throw someone as slim as Kenichi. Teada, who was watching from the sidelines, was stunned as well, as he never thought that it was possible as well, but here it was. "Oh, that must be because I am carrying over 100 kilograms of dead weight over my body," replied Kenichi casually, as if was not a big thing. But to the other two it was like a bell ringing in their ears. He is carrying over 100 kgs weight and is walking so lightly. Is he a human, they thought. Yukita was still holding Kenichi's collar, which obviously Kenichi didn't like, so he punched Yukita at his chin, cause of which though he wasn't knocked out, but he did fall on the ground and wasn't able to stand up no matter he tried. Teada, who saw this punch, knew that boxers at international level use it to knock down their opponent. "Interesting," he said while smiling. Then he took out a crayon and a clock from his pocket and started drawing a square box on the rooftop. "All right, done," said Teada after drawing the box, which was a boxing ring supposedly. "Are you going to box with me?" asked Kenichi when he saw Teada making a ring. "Yes, I am a former boxer, you know. I will take you on just with my right fist," said Teada. "You know I came here to ask something, so if you tell me what I want to know," said Kenichi. "Oh, what do you want to know?" said Teada. "Well, just that how did you got your left arm injured like that?" said Kenichi while pointing at his left arm. Teada's face was incredulous as he said, "Is this the question you want to ask? How did you even know about it?" "Well, at first I wanted to ask why did you left boxing, but after seeing your arm I got that answer. Hence I wanted to know how you got injured like that, as I was able to see it just from a glance that you cannot move it, let alone boxing," said Kenichi as a matter of fact. Yukita was also listening from the side as he was not knocked out. "Fine, then let me tell you the reason." Teada told Kenichi the reason and then asked, "I was stupid, right?" "Stupid? Why? Would you have felt better if you haven't gone? It's not like you regretted the decision, it's just that you choose a wrong friend," said Kenichi as he entered the ring. "Oh. So you finally up for it," said Teada as he also entered the ring and started the clock and said, "This is a 10-count 3 knockout fight, kicking, throwing, use whatever you want." Kenichi putted his left hand in his pocket and said, "One punch from both sides and it will be over." Teada didn't say anything, he just stood in front of Kenichi ready for the exchange. Kenichi moved towards Teada and Teada did the same, both punched at the same time and both the punches connected, but only Teada fell on the ground while Kenichi was standing as if nothing happened. What happened?" asked Yukita, who was watching the fight from the sidelines. "Parrying," replied Kenichi. "Parrying? What's that?" asked Yukita once again. "So it was parrying, that's why I felt that I really didn't punched anything, but that's not just low-level parrying, man, that was at least champion level," said Teada. "Would you tell me what is it?" asked Yukita from Teada. Teada, who was now sitting with the support of his hand, said, "When someone moves in the same direction as the punch to reduce the force behind the punch and deflect it, that's what parrying is, but mostly hands are used for that, and doing it with your face as well, that's what I say is champion level." "Then he moved his face in the same direction as your punch to deflect it?" asked Yukita. "Yes," replied Teada. "Okay, now that we have finished our talk, follow me." Teada said Kenichi. Where asked Takeda. We're off course to treat that hand of yours, Kenichi replied. Chapter 24, Ayaha. You. Don't you joke around with me, said Takeda. Why? I never joked. I know someone who was a bone expert and I am sure that he will be able to treat you, replied Kenichi. No, I have asked many doctors and all of them said that it's not possible to make my arm move anymore, said Takeda. Oh, why don't you just shut up and follow me, or I can just beat you unconscious and then take you to him, your choice, said Kenichi while showing his fist to Takeda. Fine, replied Takeda. Kenichi smiled, then looked at Yukita and said, Oi Yukita, help your friend to stand up and follow me. Yukita nodded his head and went towards Takeda to pull him up and helped him in walking as they followed Kenichi downstairs. At the other side, the moment classes were over, Mio ran outside the class and started to find Kenichi as he didn't came after the break. Where are you, Kenichi-kun? She thought. I am here, Mio, came a voice from the other side of the corridor. Mio looked at that direction and saw Kenichi walking towards her with two boys following her. Kenichi, were you with them for the whole time? Asked Mio. Yes, Mio, I was, and now I am taking them to meet Akisame sensei to treat Takeda's arm, said Kenichi. Oh, is that so? Then you should go. I will bring your bag as well, said Mio, understanding Kenichi's words. Thanks, Mio, said Kenichi as he kissed her on her cheeks in front of the two boys. Mio stood there in daze while Kenichi said bye and started walking away from her, followed by Yukita and Takeda, who were shocked as well. Kenichi, shouted Mio from embarrassment when she came out of daze. He laughed Kenichi when he heard Mio's voice. Are you two dating? Asked Takeda. Yes, we are. So stop any thoughts that may have started to grow in your mind, replied Kenichi. What? No, why would I have feelings for a woman I have just met, said Takeda. Yeah, maybe not now, but if in future also you will not have any feelings for any of my women, said Kenichi. Oh. Then you are going to have more than one. Then all I can say that I don't know what future holds for me, replied Takeda. Fine, just follow me, said Kenichi as he started going towards Akisame sensei's clinic. Koetsuji Clinic. Oh my, we have quite a visitors today, and that too all are new faces, said Akisame when he saw Kenichi followed by Takeda and Yukita. I am not here for the checkup, sensei, but I have brought a patient with me, said Kenichi as he pointed towards Takeda. His left arm was injured some time ago and he hasn't been able to move that arm from then on. Do you think you can help him with that? Asked Kenichi. Oh, let me have a look, said Akisame. As Akisame was checking his arm, Mio also came and looked at Kenichi with hateful gaze, then looked at Akisame-san. How is he? Asked Mio. Akisame putted his right hand behind the left side of Takeda's neck and pressed his thumb under his left ear and his index and middle finger at the center of his neck. Karg! Shouted Takeda. You got treated by a quack. He only managed to set the fracture in your arm. But the reason why your arm doesn't move is because your spine is bent, putting pressure on your nerves, said Akisame. What are you doing? Shouted Takeda and waved his left arm at him. But he was shocked. Kenichi and Akisame smiled seeing that. What? Shouted Yukita. Even Mio smiled a little. Karga. Takeda held his left arm as he felt the pain on it. What the hell just happened? It moved, right? Asked Takeda. Yeah, said Yukita. Told you he is a professional, said Kenichi while smiling. By any chance, can my left arm be healed? Asked Takeda looking at Akisame with hope in his eyes. Of course it can be healed. Naturally, to me, it's a treatment with low level of difficulty, said Akisame while his right hand was playing with his mustache. But still boxing is too much, right? Asked Takeda. Boxing? Don't joke around, shouted Akisame. Takeda's face was down and so was Yukita's. Mio was also a little sad. You can even aim to become a world champion arm wrestler, said Akisame. Everyone smiled at the end as they knew Akisame teased Takeda a little. Now, why don't we continue, said Akisame. Yes, said Takeda while wiping his tears. This treatment method I created myself, so it hurts a little, best to divide it into a bunch of smaller sessions, said Akisame. How many sessions? Asked Takeda. You would only hurt for the first 732 treatments, said Akisame as he started the session. Kya! Shouted Takeda. Okay, we will leave him in your care, sensei, said Kenichi as he went outside, followed by Myo. Hey Myo, are you free on the weekend? Asked Kenichi. Yes, why Kenichi-kun? Asked Myo. Well, cause I wanted to go on a date with you this weekend, so will you go on a date with me, Myo? Asked Kenichi. Myo blushed beet red. Okay, I will, Kenichi, but there is something I wanted to ask you, said Myo as she went close to Kenichi. What is it, Myo? Asked Kenichi. That kiss on the cheek, what was it for? Asked Myo. Well, you were so cute, so I just want to tease you a little, said Kenichi while scratching the back of the head. Oh, is that so? Said Myo, and she kicked Kenichi at his knees harshly, though at first she wanted to kick between his legs, but she thought it would be too cruel as he is her boyfriend after all, so she kicked him at his knee. Kenichi, who was looking at Myo, didn't had his guard against his own girlfriend and was harshly hit on his knees. A shout was heard. Aha. Chapter 25, First Date. HMNPH, I will wait for you on the weekend, saying her pace. Myo ran away from there, leaving Kenichi, who was holding his knee and shouting in pain. Ah, damn it hurts. Where did she got that much power for the kick? Said Kenichi as he was massaging his knee. Just you wait, I will fuck you the moment I get the chance, thought Kenichi. The next 3 days were same for Kenichi as schooling, training and nothing else. Both him and Myo were waiting for the weekend to come. Ragnarok base. Takeda was defeated? Asked Kazara while lying on a couch. Yes, replied Shiratori. I told you so. It's because you left things in the hands of a useless boxer, said Suji. Shut up, Suji, go back to your own gang, said Kazara to Suji. That Kenichi bastard, didn't expect him to be this strong, said Kazara. Pwahaha, while trying to increase your troops, you are getting crushed more and more instead, said Suji. Get lost, said Kazara. Shinosuke Suji, even if he is a same level director, to display such rudeness to Lady Kazara, thought Shiratori. Kenichi Shirahama, if we leave someone of such talent alone, and if by any chance he joins forces with some gang other than Ragnarok, he will be a bigger headache than milady, said Shiratori. That's true too, change of plans, we are squashing that, Kenichi, said Kazara while standing up from the couch. Wait, Kazara, said Suji. Who cares about you? Replied Kazara as she started walking towards the door. I said wait, shouted Suji. What the hell is your problem? Said Kazara. That kid, leave him to me, replied Suji. Oh, the great director Suji wants to go on field, sure, why not be my guest, said Kazara. Next day. Ryo Zanpuku Dojo. Kenichi was sparring with Myo. She was punching and kicking him while he was blocking it easily. Hiya, shouted Myo as she punched towards Kenichi, who blocked the punch and went close to Myo. Are you ready for our first date? He asked. She blushed a little and kicked towards Kenichi, saying unnecessary chatter is prohibited. To which Kenichi dodged it by taking a side step and said smilingly, you should wear whatever clothes you are comfortable in, I don't want you to feel uncomfortable on our first date, okay? Myo blushed once again and said, can we talk about it later please? Kenichi smiled and nodded his head, then began to spar seriously. After half an hour they ended the training for the day, as Kenichi has asked for a half day off from the training as he had some work to do. That's what he has told his senseis the reason for the half day, but the real reason is he wanted to go on date with Myo. Myo, you should get ready, I will also go home to get change. Ah. I almost forgot, do you want me to pick you from here or somewhere else? Asked Kenichi. No. Meet me around the next block, I will be waiting there, replied Myo. Okay, then I will be going for now, bye, said Kenichi as he waved his hand. Bye, said Myo as well and went inside to change her clothes. Shirahama residence. Kenichi, are you going on a date with Myo? Asked Saori. Yes, mom, replied Kenichi as he has already changed his clothes and was wearing his shoes right now. So that's the reason you bought that bike, but you still haven't told me where you got the money for it, said Saori. Mom, I can't tell you right now, but just wait, I will show you, okay, said Kenichi. Okay son, I will wait for it, but don't make me wait long, replied Saori while smiling. Oni-chan, you have to bring Myone here, okay, said Anoka, who was watching T.V right now. Okay, I will bring her here in the evening, said Kenichi as he picked up the 2 newly bought helmets and key of his motorcycle. Kenichi has bought Ducati Multistrada, known as the Swiss Army knife of motorcycle touring. There's little that the Ducati Multistrada can't do. A modern-day classic, This fully customizable sports tourer comes with a 1,198 cubic centimeters 90-degree V-twin engine that reaches 160 horsepower. Highly versatile, it features high-tech gadgetry and sophisticated electronics, semi-active suspension, self-adjusting windshield, standard traction control, top-notch ABS system and integrated cruise control, just to name. The only problem is that it cost Kenichi 2,100,000 yen, leaving only around 800,000 yen in his account. Looks I will have to publish some of my work since I have to tell mom about it and I will start to go short on money the way I am using it, thought Kenichi as he sat on his bike. He started his bike, wore his helmet and broom broom zoom. The bike was started and Kenichi went to pick up Mio. Mio, who was waiting for Kenichi, was really in her battle suit but was wearing a yellow top and a skirt above the bodysuit and was looking very hot. Some boys were trying to hit on her but she politely said no while giving the excuse that she is waiting for someone. While some boys left her alone, there were still some shameless boys who didn't want to let this chance go and wanted to keep going, but they heard a noise, broom broom, and saw a Ducati Multistrada coming their way. The bike stopped and the person driving the bike took off his helmet and said while looking at Mio, "Hi beautiful, did you wait for long?" Kenichi-kun shouted the surprised Mio as she wasn't expecting him to pick her up in a bike and that too such a stylish one. "Come fast, I don't want to waste her time here," said Mio as he throwed one helmet to Mio. She caught the helmet, smiled and wore it while running towards Kenichi and sat behind him. The boys who were trying to hit on her were finding ways to hide their faces as the thought of hitting on a girl whose boyfriend rides a million yen's bike. Kenichi took off from there and started going towards the new amusement park that has been opened recently. "Kenichi, is this your bike?" asked Mio from behind Kenichi. "Yes, Mio just bought it recently," replied Kenichi. "Oh, then how much does it cost?" asked Mio. "Not much, you don't have to worry, I can earn more than enough to make our family live without doing any work. You just focus on our date for today, okay?" said Kenichi. "Okay, then where are we going for today?" asked Mio. "Well, first stop is the new amusement park that has been opened where we will enjoy all their rides, games and snacks as well. After that the next stop is a surprise," said Kenichi. When Kenichi was talking about amusement park, its rides and all, Mio's eyes were shining, but he said the next thing is surprise. She couldn't control herself and asked, "What is it? Please tell me, Kenichi." No can do, it's a surprise for a reason," said Kenichi. Then Kenichi thought, "I am sorry Mio, if I tell you that we will be meeting my parents you will be fidgeting and won't enjoy the amusement park, hence I will not tell you about it, at least not now." Chapter 26, Meeting Family. Kenichi and Mio reached the amusement park. Mio was excited as she has never came to amusement park before as she never had the time for it, but today she is going to enjoy herself. "Kenichi, looks, that's a roller coaster, let's ride it first," said Mio. Okay, replied Kenichi as he followed Mio. After the roller coaster, Mio let go of everything that was holding her back and started riding every ride that the amusement park had with great interest. "Kenichi, let's go to that swing ride." "Kenichi, see there it is, the pendulum ride." "Kenichi, let's go to the drop tower." "Kenichi, I want to try bumper cars." Mio kept asking to ride different rides with Kenichi and he happily followed as her smile, which she had during the rides, had become one of Kenichi's favorite smile now. After running around the amusement park and riding all the rides that were present on the park. "Okay Mio, we should eat something first," said Kenichi as he dragged Mio to a food court in the amusement park for lunch. Kenichi ordered fast food for both of them and ice cream as a dessert, as he knew that Mio liked sweet things. "After this lunch we can go to the haunted house that you wanted to go so much, but I want you to promise me that you will not kick or punch anything inside the haunted house, do you understand me?" said Kenichi. "Really, we can go to the haunted house then, I promise I will not kick or punch anything inside the haunted house," Mio replied, being excited. Kenichi smiled and nodded his head, after which they had their lunch and then dessert, which Mio loved, and gave a kiss on Kenichi's cheeks because of it. After the lunch, Kenichi bought 2 tickets for the haunted house. As they entered the haunted house, Kenichi got to know a new side of Mio, who was afraid of ghosts, even though not like other girls, but still she is a little bit scared of them as she can't kick or punch them away. Shouted Mio when one ghost jumped in front of her and she held Kenichi's hands tightly with both her hands, which caused Kenichi's hands to be massaged by Mio's breasts. "Ah! I never thought that haunted house could be so great," thought Kenichi. After a long time of shouting and hugging, Kenichi and Mio came out of the haunted house with Kenichi smiling and Mio being still a little scared and all. As they roamed around the amusement park, Mio's eyes went wide when she saw a big teddy bear hanging on a game stall of basketball game as a prize, and Kenichi, who saw it, obviously ran towards the game stall to claim the prize as he didn't want it to let Mio get it herself and leave a chance to impress her. The game was easy. You get 7 chances to shoot the ball, and after 3 baskets you can get the prize, but for the big teddy bear you will have to shoot the ball and the baskets all 7 times. Kenichi, who has been learning marksmanship under Shigeru with shurikens, completed the game within a minute. "Congratulations to the sir here who completed the task and claimed this teddy bear," said the game stall's worker while giving the teddy bear to Kenichi. Kenichi, after taking the teddy bear, gave it to Mio, who kissed Kenichi on his cheek once again for the gift. "Okay Mio, now we should go from here. I don't want us to be late to go to our second destination," said Mio. Mio, who already enjoyed her day, was more excited for the place where Kenichi would take her and nodded excitedly. Shirahama residence. When Kenichi brought Mio in front of his house, only then did Mo realize that something was wrong, and she asked, "Where are we, Kenichi-kun?" "We are at my house, Mio. My parents wanted to meet you and asked me to bring you along after our date," replied Kenichi. Mio, after hearing this, turned around and ran outside the house while Kenichi, who was ready for it, held Mio by her waist and Princess carried her towards his house. "Kenichi, let me go. I don't want to meet them." "No, I am not ready," said Mo while she tried to make him drop her. "Don't worry Mio, they just want to meet you and they never go against my choices since childhood, especially my mother. I am sure she will like you," said Kenichi as he carried Mio towards the gate and rang the bell of his house. Mio blushed as she thought, what will Kenichi's family think if they saw them like this? "Okay then, at least let me down, Kenichi," said Mio as she tightly held her teddy bear in her hand due to embarrassment. But before Kenichi could reply her, the door opened and Saori, Kenichi's mother, was standing in front of the door and looked at Kenichi carrying Mio while Mio carried the bear. "Kenichi, what are you doing?" asked Saori. "Mom, your first daughter-in-law was too shy to meet you after our date, so I just kidnapped her and brought her like this," replied Kenichi while continuing to hold Mio like that. Mio blushed hearing Kenichi's reply while Saori started laughing. "Ha ha ha, okay, she won't run now, so you can let her down, Kenichi," said Saori. Kenichi let Mio down, whose face was beet red due to embarrassment, and she followed Saori inside the house without saying anything. "Honey, see, Kenichi has brought our daughter-in-law to meet us," said Saori. "What?" shouted his husband, who has been kept out of the loop since the beginning. "Oh, Mione has came to meet me," said Anoka as she ran towards Mio to hug her, to which Mio responded as she dropped her teddy bear as well and hugged Anoka. "You are so cute, Anoka-chan," said Mo, forgetting all about her embarrassment. "Oh, looks like Anoka already likes her new sister-in-law already," said Saori. Matsumoto, who had just stood up from his chair after looking at Mio, nodded his head and said, "Good, she is very good. I am happy with your choice, Kenichi." "Okay, let's go inside and talk while I make dinner for everyone," said Saori. "Ah, let me help you," said Mio. "No, how can I make you work on the first day you have came to meet us," said Saori. "No, please, I like to do the work and I really want to help you," replied Mio as she insisted. "Okay, only if you called me mom or mother like Kenichi and Anoka," said Saori while trying to tease Mio. Mio was dumbfounded by Saori's reply, but she also felt a little happy as well and said, "Let me help you, Mom," while she had her eyes wet. Saori was happy when she heard those words, but then she looked at Mo's eyes and said, "What happened, Mio? Did you not like to call me mother? Why are you crying?" "No, it's not that I haven't called mom in a long time, so I was feeling a little happy and these were tears of happiness," said Mio. The whole Shirahama family was silent. Kenichi already knew Mio's past, but he also felt sad when he heard Mio so sad, while the others were also able to understand the situation as well. "Okay, if that's so, then from now on I am your mother and you will be calling me mom from now onwards," said Saori, breaking the silence. "Since you are going to call Saori as mom, then you will also have to call me dad," said Matsumoto. "I am already Nyone's little sister, so that's what I will be," said Anoka. Kenichi smiled and said, "Then I will take the role of boyfriend and future husband to keep you happy." "Hee okay mom, dad, Anoka and Kenichi, please take care of me," said Mio with a sweet smile. On the other side, near Ryo Zanpaku Dojo, Suji was walking around the block since the morning with his goons and Koga the kicker. "Koga, didn't you said that they go by this route?" asked Suji. "Yes, they use this route while they buy groceries," replied Koga. Suji shouted, "Then where are they? Where is Shirahama Kenichi?" Chapter 27, Publishing Work. The dinner was great. Mio and Shirahama family laughed happily. It was the first time for Mio to laugh with a normal family as she never had lived with one. Mio, if Kenichi ever hurts you even a little, tell me, I will help you to make him sorry, said Saori. Hey mom, what are you saying? How can I ever hurt Mio, said Kenichi. Okay, don't fight now. Kenichi, it's already quite late, you should go and drop Mio to her house, said Matsumoto. Yes dad, I was going to drop her by my bike, said Kenichi as he stood up to take the key and helmet. Let's go Mio, said Kenichi to Mio. Okay, said Mio as she stood up, said her goodbyes to the Shirahama family and picked up her teddy bear while wearing the helmet. Kenichi and Mio took off from Kenichi's house and went towards Ryozanpaku dojo. It was already nighttime, so everyone was worrying about Mio, though not everyone showed it on their face, as only Apachai and Shigeru were waiting near the door. Kenichi dropped Mio near the Mio was going to give back the helmet. Kenichi stopped her and said, keep it, I had bought that helmet for you so that we could go on drive together. Mio blushed when she heard what Kenichi said but nodded her head, accepting Kenichi's request. You should go, no, everyone must be hungry since none of them know much about cooking, said Kenichi while smiling. Ah. I almost forgot about it. Kenichi, you should have dropped me earlier by now, said Mio while complaining a little and running towards Ryozanpaku. Kenichi smiled, looking at her back view, started his bike and went away from there. The moment Mio reached the door, it was opened and Apachai and Shigeru came in front of Mio. Mio, Apachai is hungry, said Apachai. Sorry Mr. Apachai, I will make dinner for everyone right now, said Mio. It's okay, Mio came back. Apachai thought you left us, said Apachai. Did Kensei-ma disturbed you much? Tell me, I will cut him, said Shigeru. Hey, I didn't do anything like that. She is late because of her date, said Kensei-ma coming from behind some bushes trying to take pictures of Shigeru's panties, which of course he failed. Okay, she has came back, we should all go inside, said Akisame coming out of the shadows. TCH, so it was just a date, said Sakaki, who came from behind a tree. Who was the date with? Said Hayato coming out of nowhere. I also have such a great family, don't I, Kenichi, thought Mio in her mind. Okay, let's go inside, I will cook something for you all, said Mio smilingly as she ran towards the kitchen. Looks like she really had a great day today, said Akisame when he looked at Mio's smile. HMNP, it must have been that Kenichi, I will warn him tomorrow about this, said Hayato Furinaji as he went inside, followed by the rest. Next day. Kenichi woke up in the morning and got ready to go to Kodagawa Shonen, KS, which is now at a decline due to loss of good stories and mangas. Kenichi had already decided to help them rise up again and become a pillar of their support, making him indispensable for the company. Kenichi put one of his manga that he had wrote in the past and a story of a book in his bag and picked up his bike keys to go to the KS. Mom, I am going outside, said Kenichi to his mom as he went out of the door. Okay son, take care, said Saori. Kenichi started his bike and went towards the KS. After reaching the company building, Kenichi straight away went towards the receptionist. Hello, is there something I can help you with? The receptionist asked while having a red hue around her cheeks due to Kenichi being too handsome, cause of which the receptionist thought of serving him well. Yes, I want to submit my work, so can you help me? Asked Kenichi smilingly. Yes, I will help you, right away, said the receptionist while calling the editor's office. Since today was Sunday, there weren't many peoples in the office, but since someone was here to submit their work, they will not want them to wait for long. Kenichi only waited for 5 minutes and saw a young man in glasses in his mid-20s. Hello sir, my name is Ryuto Kaguchi, an editor here in Kodagawa Shonen. Are you the one who wanted to submit his work? Yes, I am Kenichi Shirahama, said Kenichi. Please let me check, Ryuto said with longing in his eyes. Sure, why not, said Kenichi, and bringing both the novel as well as the manga from his bag and showed it to Ryuto. I have a novel here and a manga, I would like you to check the manga first, said Kenichi as he passed the manga to Ryuto. The manga was Fairy Tail, one of the best mangas of all time in his previous world. Yes, said Ryuto as he started reading the manga. Fairy Tail, it looks interesting, thought Ryuto when he read the name. Ryuto's hands were shaking after reading the manga, which will change the manga world. Shirahama-sensei, please let us publish your work, said Ryuto. Would you not call me Shirahama and Kenichi instead, said Kenichi. Kenichi-sensei, please let us publish your work, said Ryuto once again. Sure, but what about the contract, don't we have to sign that, said Kenichi. Yes, please wait here, I will call my superior, saying that Ryuto took off to call his superior.
After 10 minutes Ryuto came with another man. Here he is boss, said Ryuto while pointing towards Kenichi. Hello Kenichi-sensei, my name is Minato and I am the head of the company and we want to publish your work, said Minato.
Of course you can, but I have to talk about the contract and royalties that I will get, said Kenichi. Yes, we will give you 18% royalty for no, and with the sales of the manga it will increase. How's that, said Minato.
The amount of royalty was too big for a newbie.
I agree, said Kenichi without hesitation, as he knew that it was good enough for him for no. I almost forgot, I also brought a book to submit, said Kenichi while he showed the book to Minato. High School DxD, a catchy name it is, thought Minato, but after reading it he looked at Kenichi and asked, this book is great, it includes the fantasies of men, though it's for children above 17, but I know it will be a big hit, so sensei, what about the next volume? Relax, I have already written 2/3 volume of it, said Kenichi.
Sensei, please let us publish it as well, we will give 19% royalty for this one, said Minato.
Okay, I agree. But are you sure you want to publish them together? Won't the market of both clash together? Asked Kenichi. Not at all, instead it will complement each other. The one who read the manga will like to read your other work and the one who reads your book will also think the same, said Minato. Okay then, actually I have made the images of the lead characters as in the whole peerage of Rias Gremory, of course, so that it will be helpful in the marketing of the book.
What?
Then please show us. I was going to ask someone to make the pictures of them, but since you have it we don't even need to go anywhere else, Minato said. Okay, Kenichi said and took out separate pictures of Issei Hyoto, Rias Gremory, Asia Argento, Akino Himojima, Kaneko Toju and Yuto Kiba, and also a group picture of them standing together.
Minato and Ryuto both were amazed by the images of these characters and couldn't utter a word.
These are the members of Rias's peerage in the first volume. When you reach the second volume I will design the character of the new members introduced in the volume, Kenichi said.
Yes, thank you sensei, said Minato happily as their workload would reduce.
And one more thing, I don't want to use my real name as pen name, instead it should be Sun Ryukon, said Kenichi. Oh yes, I also think it will be perfect, said Minato while thinking, which idiot will tell your identity to the world?
After the contract was signed both parties were happy from it. Chapter 28, I Am Sorry.
After the meeting with Minato was done, Kenichi was getting late for his training in Ryo Zanpaku, hence he directly went there in his bike and parked it near the dojo as he didn't wanted it to get stolen, but Kenichi forgot that the rail thief lived there.
Kenichi enters the dojo and everyone was waiting for him. So you have come, Kenichi, said Hayato as he jumped in front of Kenichi. What the dash?
Kenichi backstepped when Hayato jumped in front of him. Don't jump in front of me like that, old man, I could have attacked you, said Kenichi.
How do you think your weak punch would have hurt me, said Hayato.
Kenichi had a tick mark on his head when he heard Hayato calling him weak. What are you even here for? Asked Kenichi while trying to keep his anger in check. I just came to warn you, don't take my granddaughter anywhere where she will be late like tomorrow, said Hayato, releasing some pressure on Kenichi, who stood there like nothing happened. Fine, I will make her inform someone here if we ever become late like that, said Kenichi. Hayato was happy seeing that Kenichi didn't bend it in front of him, but he couldn't show it on his face. What did you say? Said Hayato. Okay, we have training to do, so you can talk to him some other time, can't you, Furinagi-san, said Akisame, coming to the rescue.
Hayato nodded his head and vanished from his spot. Okay Kenichi, let's go, we should not forget about our training, said Akisame. Yes sensei, said Kenichi and nodded his head while carrying his clothes and helmet. After changing his clothes, Kenichi went inside the dojo where Akisame was waiting for him.
Okay Kenichi, I am going to teach you 2 techniques, come attack me, said Akisame. Kenichi did as he was asked for. He punched in Akisame's direction, but he was countered and was thrown down.
Ugh sensei, you could have just told me about it, said Kenichi while lying beside Akisame.
You wouldn't have gotten it clearly, and besides I know you learn fast if someone uses it against you.
How was it? It's called Sumokodori, said Akisame.
Sumokodori is a jiu-jitsu technique used when an opponent has attacked and counter it. The user grabs the opponent's arm, places the arm at the back of the neck, then trips the opponent with a sweep of the leg.
This technique is surprisingly not a throw.
By clinging to your opponent and then lying down yourself, the opponent is forced to the ground, rather pulled than thrown. Well, for countering it's really great, said Kenichi. Good, now watch this closely, this one is really special, it's called Koetsuji Willow Leaf Walk, said Akisame, and he started to perform the technique, and slowly Kenichi was seeing more than one Akisame sensei around him. An ancient jiu-jitsu technique that tricks the opponent into thinking the user disappears by having the user stay in the opponent's blind spot. The user wears long pants to hide his knee movement and make an illusion of his center of gravity. He then enters the opponent's blind angles and makes use of the opponent's slightest movement to throw him. While the opponent thinks the user is gone and tries to retreat, the user can surprise the opponent with a surprise attack. After showing this technique to Kenichi, Akisame has given him the task to learn these techniques, even if at the beginner level, within 3 days, which is quite hard considering the fact that they are high-level jiu-jitsu skills. So Kenichi started his practice under Akisame, but even with his talent it wasn't easy to learn the skills that Akisame had showed him. Outside Ryozanpaku, where Kenichi's bike was standing, people who go by the road will look at it time after time with envy and jealousy. Sakaki, who went outside to buy alcohol for himself, was coming back. He was drinking alcohol when he looked at Kenichi's bike. Coughed Sakaki as he saw the bike and ran towards it, then started to look at it. Sakaki was bike lover, though that may not be at the level of his love for alcohol, but still he was quite knowledgeable about it. Ducati Multistrada, whose bike is this? How can he leave it here in the open, said Sakaki to himself. After looking around and not finding the owner of the bike, Sakaki looks that the bike has been parked near the Ryozanpaku dojo, so he thought that maybe the owner has come to Ryozanpaku dojo. If he has come to challenge the dojo, then I am going to take his bike as compensation, while smiling heavily, making the people who saw his smile run away from him and also making children cry. Thinking that, he ran towards the door and kicked the door open while shouting, "Who has come to our dojo?" Everyone heard his voice, but only Apachai and Shigeru went there, followed by Kensei-ma, who was trying to take Shigeru's pictures once again. "Oi Apachai, Shigeru, tell me who has come to our dojo to create problems, tell me, I will bash him up," said Sakaki while smiling. Apachai and Shigeru weren't able to understand what Sakaki was saying, as they were sure that no one has come today. "No one has come," Sakaki said Kensei-ma while he took Shigeru's ass's pictures, but a shuriken came at the camera lens, destroying it. "Ah, my camera," shouted Kensei-ma. "What, no one has come? Then whose bike is this?" asked Sakaki, pointing towards. All three of them looked at the place where Sakaki was pointing his fingers. Apachai and Shigeru's eyes shined while looking at the bike, while Kensei-ma was amazed as the bike was really stylish. As they were talking about the bike, Mio also came outside and looked at all four of them who were admiring Kenichi's bike. "Why are you all outside here looking at Kenichi's bike?" said Mio. Something broke in their heads when they heard what Mio said. "What did you just said?" asked Sakaki. "It is Kenichi's bike," said Kensei-ma. Shigeru and Apachai also looked at Mio with strange eyes. "Yes," said Mo while fidgeting a little, as she felt she must have said something which will create a great problem for Kenichi. Whoosh 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 came 4 noises as all 4 of them vanished from there, leaving Mio a little scared for Kenichi. Mio, thinking about Kenichi, thought in her mind, "Kenichi, I am sorry." Chapter 29, Rich Kenichi. Kenichi had been practicing Akisame even after hearing Sakaki's shout. "Sensei, aren't you going to see why Sakaki-sensei was shouting?" said Kenichi. "No, the reason can be an idiotic one, so I don't want to waste time," replied Akisame. As Akisame completed his sentence, 4 people came inside the dojo and brought a strong gust of wind with them. "Kenichi-I," shouted 3 men while a woman looking at him. Kensei-ma, Sakaki and Apachai shouted his name while Shigeru was just silently looking at him without any expression on her face. "What are you doing here?" "Right now it's my teaching time, isn't it?" said Akisame. "I know," said Sakaki and Kensei-ma. "Apachai also wants the bike," said Apachai. "Huh," said Kenichi and Akisame. "Oi Apachai, that's not how you ask for something," said Sakaki. "Yes, let me show you how it's done," said Kensei-ma. "Kenichi, my dear disciple, first thing is I want to ask you, that is the bike parked outside, is it yours?" asked Kensei-ma. "Yes, it's mine." "Why?" said Kenichi. By this time Mio has also came inside by Hayato as well. That means everyone in Ryozanpaku was there at that moment. "Mio, did you know about the price of that bike?" asked Sakaki when he saw Mio entering the room. "No," Kenichi said, "it didn't cost much, so I didn't ask again," replied Mio. Hearing her answer, Sakaki looked at Kenichi while smiling and moved his hand towards him and said, "Then you can give it to me, right, since it didn't cost much."
"Hey," said Kensei Ma and Apachai while Shigeru looked at him, giving him a deathly glare.
What, he said that it didn't cost much? Do you know that bike's price in more than 2 million yen, and this idiot just left it outside so that it could be stolen, said Sakaki, clearly showing that he is pissed. Clang clash later, the plate Mio was holding fell from his hand and broke. The shurikens Shigeru had also fell from her hand, and the broken camera Kensei was holding also fell from his hand, breaking it completely. Whoosh! Apachai went outside of the dojo and picked the bike with his hands, bringing it inside the dojo near the place everyone was, and said Apachai saved it from getting stolen, so Apachai also wants to learn it.
"See, that's a Ducati Multistrada. Do you think it would be cheap?" said Sakaki, pointing towards the bike.
Okay, I know it's my fault to leave it outside, but I don't think anyone other than someone who can pick it up like Apachai-san can steal it, as dragging it away from here is impossible without its key, said Kenichi.
"That's not the point. I want to know, how can you buy such an expensive bike, for what reason, and I want to drive it as well?" asked Sakaki.
"Well, I bought it as I had money enough to buy it in my account. As to the reason I bought it is because to take my girlfriends on a ride in it, and no sensei, it's only for me and my girlfriends, so you will have to take their permission to drive it, and Apachai-san, I am sorry, that's a little expensive bike for learning how to ride, and I don't think you even need it as you are way faster than the bike," replied Kenichi. Apachai was a little sad, but when Kenichi said that he was faster than the bike, he was happy again. Sakaki and Kensei looked at Mio, who was blushing a little. They went towards her and asked at the same time, "Mio, can we use that bike?" Mio, being Mio, couldn't refuse them, while apologetically looking at Kenichi, gave her consent to both of them.
"Haha, now give me the keys," said Kensei and Sakaki.
But then both of them looked at each other and had a tick mark on their heads.
"What do you even need it for? You don't even like bikes," said Sakaki.
"Yes, I don't like them, but with it I can easily pick up girls," said Kensei, showing a lewd smile. Wait guys, as I said, it's for my girlfriends, and you have only asked from Mo while leaving my other girlfriend, so I don't need to give you the keys," said Kenichi.
"What?
Who is it?" both of them asked together. Kenichi didn't said anything and smiled while he started to look towards Shigeru. Sakaki and Kensei followed the direction where he was looking and were shocked to see it was Shigeru, as only Akisame, Hayato, and Mio knew that Shigeru was also Kenichi's girlfriend, though only in name for now, while the rest three were out of the loop. "Impossible!" shouted Kensei while Sakaki was silent due to shock, leaving the confused Apachai. "So you want to ask her permission for the bike or not?" said Kenichi with a smirk, as he knew Shigeru won't allow them until she herself had ridden on it. Kensei Ma and Sakaki also knew that Shigeru won't allow it, hence they let it go with a dejected face.
"That aside, where did you get that much money, Kenichi? I don't think your father is so rich to give you so much pocket money that you can buy that bike," asked Akisame.
"No sensei, it's my own money. I used to fight in underground arena during middle school as a form of my training, and since I was the type to never lose, I was able to collect this much with betting on myself and winning matches along my friends," said Kenichi. Everyone was shocked hearing that answer, as no one thought he would have done such a thing.
"Why didn't you told us about it?" asked Sakaki.
"Well, you never asked," replied Kenichi as a manager of fact.
"So exactly how much do you have left now?" asked Kensei Ma.
"Don't worry, it's enough for my bet with you all, around 800,000 yen, that's all I have for now," replied Kenichi.
"You are quite rich, aren't you, Kenichi?" said Akisame while smiling.
"No, not really, sensei, at least not now, but I will be in the future," said Kenichi while smiling.
"Okay, let's go, we should let Kenichi do his training," said Hayato.
As everyone was going outside, Kenichi looked at Shigeru and asked him to wait, as he wanted to tell her something. "What is it?" asked Shigeru without any change in her expression. Right now only Shigeru and Kenichi were in the room, as the rest have left so that Kenichi could focus in his training. "Nothing, I just wanted to tell you that I will be taking you on a ride on my bike after my training for the day is over, so you should clear your schedule for that," said Kenichi, as if telling her, not asking her. Shigeru just nodded her head while blushing and ran away from there. Chapter 30, Tricking Shigeru. For the whole afternoon Kenichi kept doing his training and was able to get the grasp on Sumo Kodori-ai and Koetsuji Willow Leaf Walk, though it was just on the beginning stages, but still it was a great success to achieve that much in a single day. After the training for the day was over, it was already near the time for the sunset. Kenichi hurriedly changed his clothes, took out the keys for his bike, started it.
"Broom broom!"
Shigeru shouted Kenichi, starting his bike wearing his helmet.
Shigeru came in front of Kenichi jumping from the roof wearing the helmet Kenichi gave to Mio.
On the helmet there was a mouse sitting. His name was Takemura, who usually only came in front of Kenichi to steal snitching food and likes appetized cheese and fried food for dinner in Kenichi's chikama.
Hot cocktail cheese in kamaboko, chikama. Incidentally, when cheese is in this and it's sold as a snack, it's called chikama.
And Takemura is Shigeru's pet mouse and her best friend. Like his owner, he is considered a master of weapons, and a resident of Ryozanpaku.
Master, as a mouse. Comparable to a mid-class human disciple. Did Myo gave you this helmet? Asked Kenichi.
Yes, said Shigeru while she picked Takemura and putted him on her shoulder to let him rest.
Is he coming as well? Asked Kenichi.
Yes, said Shigeru nodding her head. And I was thinking we were going on a date, said Kenichi, which made Shigeru blush a little.
Hey Takemura, can you let me and Shigeru go on a date alone? I promise I will bring cheese for you and give you money as well, said Kenichi to Takemura, trying to coax him as a child.
Takemura moved his head left right 2-3 times, telling he wouldn't allow him to do that. Huff, then what about I add chikama as well in the promise with 10,000 yen money, said Kenichi. Takemura gestured Kenichi to bring his hand towards him, and when Kenichi did it, Takemura used his tail and wrapped it around his pinky. Ha, okay then, I pinky swear I will do what I said, Kenichi. After the promise, Takemura jumped down from Shigeru's shoulder and went inside the dojo. It really amazes me that he beat the cat with just his tail, thought Kenichi when he saw it moving its tail in a circle as if it's a rope. Let's go, Shigeru, said Kenichi, gesturing her to sit behind him. Shigeru sat behind Kenichi, but she didn't hold him from behind. You should hold me, Shigeru, as I will drive fast, said Kenichi.
It's okay.
I won't fall, replied Shigeru. Kenichi slapped himself, but since he was wearing a helmet it didn't really hit him. Then he turned his head and looked at Shigeru. No, it's not the main reason, it's a ritual to hold someone from behind when they are riding a bike, said Kenichi.
Oh.
Okay, said Shigeru as she held him from behind, making her e-cups pressing at Kenichi's back. Even if I don't get anything from this date, I am already satisfied with this, thought Kenichi. Kenichi then moved his bike out of Ryozanpaku and went towards the direction where night stalls are placed. He knew Shigeru will like the food from there, and there were even games there which she would always like. By the time Kenichi and Shigeru reached the area where these stalls were located, the sun was nowhere to be seen in the sky and it was dark already. But at that time the lights of each stall started to lit up, making the road beautiful. As they started going towards the stall, Shigeru's eyes were shining when she saw all those games which she has never played and food which she has never eaten. The first thing Kenichi did for Shigeru was to take her to different food stalls to let her taste them. Shigeru, who hadn't had a great time ever before, was enjoying her time with Kenichi, and from the food she ate here the most she liked was cotton candy and choco banana. The thing that Kenichi liked was Shigeru was licking the choco banana as a professional, licking it all around, wrapping her tongue around it. Kenichi had even started to think it was his personal thing that was inside her mouth, but like all great things that come to end, this ended as well when Shigeru bite the dick pops.
Ah! Came the voice out of Kenichi's mouth.
What happened? Asked Shigeru after she had eaten the dick pops.
Nothing, I just got out of my fantasies in a painful way.
Let's go to the game stall, said Kenichi as he held Shigeru's hand, cause of which she flinched but didn't move her hand from Kenichi's. They played most of the games, which made the stall owners lost their earnings, as after Kenichi teaches her a game she would be able to do it like a pro, taking all the prices of the stall. Of course Kenichi took only a single one of the price from each store, giving the rest back to the stall owners. One of the game they played was goldfish scooping, scam, in which you used a paper ring to scoop the goldfish from the water before the paper tears apart.
Kenichi used a single paper ring, poi,
to scoop a goldfish for Shigeru to see, but Shigeru, who also wanted to play the game, ended up taking all the goldfish, leaving the stall owner crying. Kenichi had to give him back all the goldfish except one to make him stop from crying. Imagine a 40-years-old man crying like a child. I don't really think anyone would feel good about it. As they were going back with the prices, they had one such as the goldfish, a mirror, bracelet, wooden, a bat and stick, Shigeru's gift for Kenichi, and few more gifts. Shigeru, wait a minute, said Kenichi and ran towards a certain direction. Shigeru stood there for a minute or two, then saw Kenichi running towards her. Okay Shigeru, close your eyes, I have something for you. Shigure tilted her head trying to think what Kenichi was thinking, but she did as he asked. As she closed his eyes, Kenichi took out something from behind and said, "Okay Shigure, you can open your eyes." When Shigure opened her eyes, she saw Kenichi holding a horsey doll and her eyes shined as she wanted that for a long time now. "Thank you," said Shigure as she took the horsey doll from Kenichi. "Era, that's not how you show that you are thankful, Shigure, especially not to your boyfriend," said Kenichi with a smile on his face. Then how?" asked Shigure. "Well, when you are thankful or sorry to your boyfriend, you kiss them on their lips. The more thankful or sorry you are, the more longer you kiss," said Kenichi while putting his index finger on lips. Shigure blushed hearing Kenichi's answer as she has never kissed before. "I know you have never kissed before, so let me show you how to do it, as I am also really thankful to you," as Kenichi said that he went close to Shigure, held her by her waist. Shigure was stiff like a log, but the moment her lips touched Kenichi's lips she felt as if she was electrified and opened her mouth in shock. Using that moment, Kenichi used his tongue to enter Shigure's mouth, entangling her tongue and started sucking her saliva. They kissed for around 5 minutes, then separated. "That's how much thankful I was for the date," said Kenichi as he looked at the flushed face of Shigure. "Now it's your turn to show how thankful you were for the date," said Kenichi as he stood there waiting for Shigure to move. Shigure, who was already blushing, was now beet red while she started moving towards Kenichi slowly and steadily. When she reached Kenichi, she held him by his shoulders and went for the kiss. Kenichi, who was smiling for the whole time, was also feeling great as it was the first time he was being kissed by a girl and he really liked this feeling. When Shigure's lips touched Kenichi, she also used her tongue to entangle Kenichi's tongue and they started to suck each other's saliva for a long time, such as 10 minutes straight. After the kiss, Shigure said, "This is how thankful I am." Kenichi smiled and hugged Shigure while patting her head and said, "Arai arai, good girl, Shigure, but you can only kiss me like that and no one else, okay?" Nodded Shigure while smiling for the first time, looking at which Kenichi went into daze. That wraps up this part of What If Martial Artist Reborn is Kenichi Shirahama. Thanks so much for listening. As always, new parts drop every 4 days, so be sure to stay tuned. Also check out my Patreon channel for early releases of all the series, where you can find all the series released one day ahead of YouTube. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, share it with your friends, and please consider supporting the original author as well. See you in the next one.